Hey, what's up? Dean, C10 Performance, and we're back at the shop. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, doesn't do nothing for you except help me. And hit the bell to be notified of new videos, but it helps me out. Please subscribe, like the video. Today we are back on Chavo's C10. I got a few of the parts in. Last we left off, the transmission's in, torque converter's in. I had gotten the exhaust tacked up in there, so now I got the pump. I don't see it. There it is. It's the Walbro 255 inline pump with the AN adapters on it. And I had this for another project. It's like the Corvette regulator. It's a filter regulator all in one. So it should, as long as it works as it's supposed to, which it should, it's new, it should keep the fuel pressure around 58 psi and also act as a filter. And it also has the return built into it, which I ran up to the tank. They're way up in there. I did like the compression fittings on the tank. I cut the little knurl, if that's what you want to call it, off the lines that come out of the tank. It's kind of like the barb that for the rubber lines, so I cut those off and I file them down real nice, and then I put the compression fittings on them so that AN runs all the way to the tank, both sides. I also took like a transmission vent, that's this rubber tube here, and I clamped that onto the vent and then ran it over, and it's got like the little rollover vent that GM puts in the transmission lines, so he at least has a transmission vent. The exhaust is fully welded, all bolted back in. I think I'm gonna trim this side to match this side. You could kind of see how one's a little droopier than the other. It's not a big deal. I also changed the U-bolt for the axle, and I had this one. That is done. Tank's back in. I had to take the tank out, put the tank back in, so that's done. And then I ran all the AN line to the pump, from the pump to the filter, from the filter to the tank, from the filter to the rail, which I also, it's all PTFE. PTFE, figure it out. And then this line here, the feed, goes up and over the exhaust. There's actually quite a lot. It's like a whole knuckle width. Doesn't look like it. Fist width, I should say. And then you could see kind of, there's this bracket built into the floor. So I drooped it up to there, and it's also got like a heat shield on it. That's good for, it's like 1500 degrees, and I ran that all the way up to the intake. I got the fittings on the rail up there, which I'm going to lower it down. Hold on. Okay, so truck's on the ground, and that's the push lock fitting with a fuel gauge adapter. You can kind of see the threaded port right there. I'm going to do the transducer in there so that I could plug in the fuel pressure feed for the Holley Terminator, and then we can log the fuel pressure, see what it's at, adjust in the tune if we need to. I don't think we'll need to, but also swapped out all the injectors for EV1 style, like flex fuel truck injectors. The harness from Holley, it wouldn't have gotten here until mid-September possibly, and I suspect mid-September. They would have said mid-October. So I canned that, grabbed the other injectors, the flex fuel injectors, grabbed the other EV1 harness and stuck that on. I usually save the EV1 harnesses for when I do bigger injectors, like snake eater injectors, like the 210s or 1500s. I usually save that harness for those, but I'm not going to make him wait. I have the intake coming, the upper radiator hose, spark plug wires, like all of that stuff is on its way. The throttle cable's in. That's another thing I got done today, and adjusted the pedal so that it pulls wide open throttle. It works really good. It's nice and smooth. I got the belt on. So once I get the last little bits and pieces, I mean, this thing is pretty much wire it. I got to throw the transmission harness on it. And then I just have to wire up the Terminator X. Get a good spot for the handheld. I'm not quite sure on how to do the handheld. I don't really want to cut his dash or drill his dashboard or nothing like that, but want to find a nice spot to put the handheld. A couple of inputs, outputs I'll wire in. What else? Because I have to trigger the fans, so I got to do the relays for the fans. Power steering's done. Like, it's close. Lower radiator hoses are on. Transmission lines, that's the other thing I got to do, is transmission lines, which I'll on this truck I'll most likely tie it into the radiator. This is more of a cruiser. If he wants to add an external cooler, which I usually always recommend doing, but in his case, I don't think he's not going to have an issue. This isn't a 7,000-pound truck that he's beating on daily. So I'll run it to those ports there. Again, with some compression, I'll use like the factory line that push locks in, and then I'll do the compression AN fittings, run AN line to the transmission. If he wants to do a cooler, he just needs to get like 6 AN couplers, tie them in, undo it from there, tie it in, go out to the front, not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, we're plugging away on it, blah blah. The little cover is screwed down, hopefully permanently. Yeah, I mean, it's close. So maybe turn the light off. And I've been cleaning a lot, threw away all the crap that was over there, threw away a bunch of stuff in the back. We're gonna get the place 100% cleaned out. Big issue I have is the oil over there. That's going. Once that corner is all cleaned up, the shop will look a million times better. I'll be happier, not so chaotic. But that's pretty much it for now. Like I said, please like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. Hit the bell to be notified of new videos, and have a good day.